So masculine energy is going to tell us to work really hard, to make a lot of money, to buy the best house, to buy the best vehicle. Hello and welcome to this peaceful little spot of a big, beautiful park. I really needed this moment today. And as much as my day started with me feeling like perhaps I wasn't feeling very in flow, now I realize that everything led to this exact moment, and this is exactly what I needed. That is such a great example of really leading with your feminine energy, and that is exactly what I want to talk about today. For those of you who are new here, welcome. I'm so glad to have you here with me. My name is Amy. If you've been here before, thank you for being back with me. It means so much. I truly love being here with you and getting the opportunity to talk about these topics that are always on my mind, but not necessarily the topics that you find everyday people to talk with about them. I had a hard time connecting to the idea of feminine energy simply because I didn't understand it. I didn't understand what it meant energetically and spiritually. When it comes to your feminine energy, it's very much about tuning in to your emotions and your energy and leading from that place. And I think that this idea gets a little bit of a bad reputation because women and our emotions also get a bad reputation. And that is the same with men, however you identify. But when we get too emotional, people don't like that. So when I talk about emotions, I'm talking about leading from your emotions from a very self-aware and balanced place. I could go on about everything else, but I'm going to try to keep it pretty on topic today. I think that the masculine and feminine energies, which we all have, that's another thing that's really important. It's not just feminine for female, and it's not just male energy for men. We all have both energies. It's how we balance them. It's how we tune into them. We live in a world where masculine energy is dominant. It just is. And I love that so many people are talking about the feminine energy because it is time. It is happening. There's a huge shift happening. And this means that more people are leading from their hearts, from their intuition, with compassion, with empathy. And we need that. We see what happens when that's not taking place. I think that this world could afford a lot more love, a lot more unity, a lot more working together. That's why in my tiny little corner here of my YouTube channel, I like to be able to speak to these things and these energies. I'm going to give you an example of feminine energy when you're taking action with career, because I feel like whether you are working or you're a stay-at-home mom or you are not working, whatever that looks like, you still had to grapple and navigate emotions around that and feelings around that and what was logical and what was going to be best for you and your family, whatever that looks like. This is generally not just an easy decision for anybody. So masculine energy is going to tell us to work really hard, to make a lot of money, to buy the best house, to buy the best vehicle, to continue to increase your title, your salary, things like that. It's going to tell you you have to work and you have to work harder and you cannot rest. You cannot say, I need a day off or I need to do this instead. And it's generally going to tell you that you need to take the job that's going to pay you more, even if you're not going to be as happy. Your feminine energy is going to lead you from a place that feels good. It is going to lead from a place that is compassionate, that is nurturing, that is intuitive. What is your intuition telling you? Is it telling you that the title matters? Is it telling you that the salary matters? Your feminine energy, if you are tuning into it and you are leading from your intuition, you're going to be able to tune in to what it will feel like for you to make the choice to stay home with your children, to make the choice to go to work when you have children. If you don't have kids, what that looks like for you, how you're going to spend your time. If you are 100% responsible for yourself, how are you taking care of yourself? It does not need to be in a way that is comparing to what somebody else is doing. It doesn't need to be based on what someone else is telling you. Tuning into your feminine energy and leading from that place is still taking care of yourself. It is still showing up for responsibilities, but it is doing it in a way that helps you to feel balanced, that still gives you time to be creative if you're not getting that from your work. A big thing that I have been really learning about when it comes to feminine energy is taking that divine action and knowing how much action is the right amount. And when I start to teeter on it being really charged with that male energy, feminine energy is not doing nothing. It is not just sitting on your couch assuming that things are just going to come to you. It is taking action. It is taking that divine action, but it's doing so in a way that still feels good. I realize that when I start to get really stressed, overstimulated, or there's just too many thoughts going on and what I'm focused on doesn't feel good anymore, that means I've crossed a line. That means that I need to stop looking at all of that or researching or considering whatever it is going on with me and take a break. Do something that feels good. Like this. Go out into nature, go practice some yoga, go for a run, go play with kids, go play with my dog, whatever that is. But that for me is the balance. I used to make a to-do list where I would not let myself stop or relax until every single thing was done. Even if it meant I was missing sleep or not feeling good or triggering migraines, I would just feel like I absolutely had to do all these things. And that didn't feel good and it burned me out. And then it made me disconnected and I forgot what it even felt like to be aligned and tune in to my intuition in the first place. Your feminine energy is very much about coming from that place that is tuned in. Think about the yin and the yang. There's a balance. They work together. They complement each other. That's the same as male and female energies. It's not about just one or the other. They're not independent from one another. They're just different. And it's about how you're tuning into them and really understanding for yourself, today, I need this. Some days you may even wake up with a plan of some things you wanted to do, but you have all the wrong energy going on, and that is just not going to work for you. Sometimes we need to push through that. Sometimes, though, we need to recognize that we need to take the break, that we need to stop. Or maybe we planned to really have a relaxing day, and you wake up and you are just ready to go. Find a few things that you can actually do that are really going to satisfy that energy, that motivation you have that day, and then know when you can just rest. But it's very much about tuning in to your intuition, not somebody else's, not what someone else is telling you you need to do. One of the biggest things I've been struggling with in the last, I'd say, year and a half or so, since moving back to my home state and being around people who were around when I was growing up, is really realizing how much of my decision making was influenced by especially family, extended family, and the people I was around, and even just the community I was around. I made a lot of decisions from the more masculine energy because that's what all the influences around me were stemmed from. I can remember moments of thinking, oh, God, I don't think that this is what I want, but I don't know what to do. And so I just did the other thing. I did what people encouraged me to do. I didn't always, but I did sometimes, and we all do, because I also think a part of learning is learning like what's authentic to us and what is truly in our hearts. And yes, we might know what's in our hearts, but learning how our hearts are communicating and speaking to us is also a part of the process. But now here I am back in this space. A lot has changed in my life in the last year and a half. The universe has made it very clear to me that it's time for me to pretty much remove everything and start from a new foundation. As scary as this is, I also feel so excited because I know that this is my moment. This is my moment to say, I know what I want. I know what my heart has been telling me this whole time. And as I've gotten older and matured and become more tuned into myself, that consistency of what's always been there guiding me has gotten louder and louder. And so now it's easier to tune into that. And so that's what I'm doing. And I'm going to make some really big decisions that I know people are going to look at and really scratch their heads, but I don't care because I don't want those lives. I don't want that kind of success. I don't want to fill those expectations. I've already tried it and it hasn't satisfied me. I want to be happy. And a lot of this has to do around my career because I am not satisfied in my work. I've never been satisfied in my work, but I've done it because it was the logical thing to do. And to be honest, even though I've always had great reviews. I have never gotten that far in this corporate ladder. And I feel like that is the universe saying, this is not your highest alignment. So it's never going to be that good because this isn't what's supposed to be that good for you. So I am just working my butt off right now to really be connected to me, to myself, to my alignment and my intuition, my feminine energy, making sure there is a balance there. This is on a micro and a macro level. So in my daily life, how I'm showing up, what I need to focus on, and then also on a macro scope in the sense of what my life is going to look like in the next 3 to 6 months and what I'm doing to plan for that. Just remember that tuning into your feminine energy is so powerful and we are all headed there. The universe is bringing us whether we like it or not. So I just encourage everybody to really start tuning into their own. And if you're already tuning in, really refining that and digging deep and exploring it, because that is what we are seeing on a bigger scale when it comes to each of our souls and what is going on here energetically. I want to be a part of that. I want to be a safe space for people. I want to create a community where we can come together and feel safe to grow in those ways and to be vulnerable, to increase our vibrations, to increase our alignments, to live from our heart space and to really live in a way that we feel so thrilled. This is not something we need to earn. It is our birthright. But the reason why so many of us are not living a life of alignment is because that is not what is the norm. That is not what is taught. If you are here listening to this, you know, there's a part of you that knows, just like me, that there is more to life than just spending your time doing things that are not bringing you value or satisfaction, but you're doing them because it's just what you've known. It's what other people are doing. You know that there's more. So I just really encourage you to reflect on aspects of your own life and where you maybe are or have made decisions that have been really stemming from the masculine energy and where you can see that you made decisions stemming from your feminine energy. That will really help you to start becoming aware of the two as well. As you go throughout your day and your week, and as bigger decisions come up for you, take some time to tune in to your intuition, tune into your heart, and really figure out what it is your guidance system might be telling you, even if it feels absolutely a no, because like you can't imagine actually doing something that wild. Just start to imagine, what if? What if I just took one little step to get me toward that? What would that look like and how would that feel? I love this topic because I am seeing how powerful it is in my own life and how it is a part of every person's life. This is not unique to me. And I also see how much the aspects of my life that I'm not that happy with have been because I haven't been focused on this. So if you have any thoughts or comments or want to share maybe how you're focused on this or some big wins you have where you have really applied that feminine energy, whatever you want to share, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. And I know other people watching love to read them as well. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel. It is so helpful. I love being here with you. Give me a thumbs up, and I hope to see you here next time. Bye.